Hey guys, it's me Sean from C3 Cyber Club. This is our video tutorial on lighting using Platinum Art Sandbox as a game design engine. So we're going to go ahead and get into lighting and show you guys how lighting can really add to your game. So let's get started. So if you guys look right now, we have a lot of different colored lights in this particular room. You notice that it's already sort of set a sense of mood for a game. It's a little bit more scarier. It's a little bit add a little bit more depth to it. If we go over here, you can see some neon green lights that are kind of working with the textures that we have. And if we go out here, again, things get a little bit darker, and we have sort of more of a purplish hue on our wall here. So a lot of things that I've noticed in our classes, or a lot of kids, they kind of put lighting to the side. They don't really think about it that much. And if you really think about lighting and how to have it sort of encompass your game design and your level design, it's going to add a lot more depth to the game. So it's one of those things that's going to add a lot more polish, and you don't want to sort of forget about when you're creating your game. So let me go ahead and just press L right now. This turns off all the lights. So this is what most games usually look like, especially with our younger kids when they're designing the games, because there is no lighting. They don't really put much lighting in there, so everything's kind of flat. Very plain. There's no really sort of feel or mood to it. But when you turn those lights on, everything changes. It's a lot more. It seems almost more interactive, or it's a lot. It just adds an extra layer polish to this game that we already have here. So let's get into our lighting. Let's start from scratch. So I'm gonna go ahead and I'm just gonna delete these lights that I have in here right now. And let's go ahead and just delete that one. And this one right here. Okay. So when we start a light from scratch, there's two ways to do it. Either we can go ahead and press escape and go to new light, which is right here. And in this option, what we can do is we can set the radius. So we can say how wide do we want it. So we can extremely long, do moderate, short. I'm going to go ahead and just say long for right now. I can go in here and set the color. So here's all the colors I can choose from. Let's go ahead and just say blue. And what I'm going to do is click spawn light. So I press escape, and now here's the new light that it gave me. So what I need to do is go ahead and I'm going to just place it into the game in this room here. So I'm going to kind of move it up, and I'm going to put it right around here. Okay? And so once I go ahead and press E, and oops, let me get rid of this light too. And hey, I got some more lights over here. Let me delete this one. Okay? So when I go into game mode, you notice nothing really changed. Everything's exactly the way it was before. The reason why is we have to actually generate what we call a lighting map. Platinum Art Sandbox, what it does is it generates all the lighting, where all the shadows, where all the highlights are going to be, and it creates it sort of in a patch framework. So there will be little patches where the lighting will be generated. So we're going to go ahead and just press K. What that does is it's called quick light, so it generates all the lighting in the game. And now when I press E, now you notice there's a blue color. You know, the room's a lot darker. The ceiling is definitely highlighted here. We have the blue right there. Now, if I ever want to move this light again, we want to move it over here now. Maybe I want to go ahead and change the properties of it. What I can do is I can go ahead and press F3, and I can go ahead and just change the radius. I can go back in here and change the colors if I want to. Maybe I want a different color. Now remember, again, I have to go ahead and press K to generate the new lighting map, or nothing's going to happen. There we go. So here's the changes. Pretty cool. Okay. Now, if you want to set a light and you want to make it sort of like the entire, almost like it lights the entire environment, set it to 0. 0 represents infinity. So if I was to actually take this light and let's drag it outside here. And you notice this is what my level looks like. I'm going to go ahead and generate it now. See, it lights the entire environment. So now we have a shadow cast from here. Even these little lights pop up when we have lighting on. So it's very important that you really utilize lighting, because a lot of things you might miss when you don't put the lights there. So now that we moved it out here, you'll actually notice this room gets dark because, well, there's a ceiling. So we have to put another light in here to make sure this room is lit. So the other way you can do lights is you can go ahead and just press New Entity. And remember, by default, it makes a new light. So that's one way to do it. We'll go ahead and just make this red. And let's bump this down a little bit. There we go. So I'm going to go ahead and just press K, generate a new lighting map. So the more lights you have, the more geometry, more animations, it's going to take longer for your game to load. So just sort of keep that in mind when you're doing adding lights in your game. It's usually one of the last steps that you want to do. The reason why is because if you start changing your geometry, like this, you notice these patches came up. The reason why is because it has to generate a new lighting map because of that. So make sure that your geometry is done, your map models, and that way you can just speed up things much quicker. Because right now I'm pretty lucky with these loading times only being about a couple seconds. They can sometimes be up to 5 minutes depending on how much stuff you have going on. So that's lighting right there. We can also make a spotlight. So we can go here to New Light. We can go to F3. We can go to Type. Go to Spotlight right here. And as long as you make the spotlight near the light that you've built, it'll link together. So now when I move this around, it's actually linked to the light that I have. So let's go ahead and press F3. And I'm going to make the radius a lot bigger, wider here. So I'm going to have it sort of look over in this area. Maybe I'm going to have it look at the door, and let me bump this up and make this really high. That's pretty good. Let me go ahead and just press K, generate the lighting map. And oops, I think I actually turned off the there we go. Let me do that one more time. Actually, you can kind of see it. See how there's it's very dim, but if I was to bump that up even higher, or even bring it closer, it should be even brighter. Just a little bit. Okay. Now, we can get into some other sort of advanced lighting techniques. We can go here to New Light, and we can go to Advanced. Here we can set how many lights we want to create, so we can make more than one. We can do the radius of it, and also the colors individually. So this is helpful if you have all the lights and you want them to be the same color. Or you can also copy a light. Press V to paste in your game and generate a new lighting map. And now I have 2 lights in here. So you can do the same thing. It's just really if you're starting out, you want to use the advanced lighting technique. Another technique we can do is our patch lighting. So I'm going to go ahead and press Escape, and I'm going to go to Editing GUI. And what I want to do is go to Light Maps right here. So if you want more control over your lights, you can change some of the ways that it's sort of generated into the game. We can set a lower quality, which is going to make it speed up much quicker, or we can do a higher quality, which will take a little bit longer, but the lighting will be much better. We can change the anti-aliasing, which is basically if you ever look in a game, and sometimes they call them jaggies. It's usually like an edge here. If you look kind of at the corner, there's sometimes a little bit of a jagged edge. Well, this is representing the shadows, so sometimes our shadows going to have a jagged edge. So if you want your shadows to be much smoother, you're going to go ahead to your Editing GUI, your light maps, and bump up the anti-aliasing to a higher number. Same thing with the shadows. Higher the number, the better. Also, we can go ahead and we can get in here and we can add a little bit more of a blur to it. And also, you can set the skylight color. Skylight is pretty much if you want to make the sun. This is the option that we use. And you want to usually use these for a bigger map. This map right now is a size 10, but if you're using 12, 13, a skylight is a good lighting source that will light the whole map, and it won't take too much of your processing power to do it. So make sure to utilize that when you have a bigger set map. And here's where you can change the colors. So that's just pretty much lighting. Make sure you incorporate it into your game. It's going to make it look a lot more realistic, give it a lot more depth, and just give it really a sense of mood so the player really gets engaged into your game. So if you have any questions, just check us out at c3cyberclub.com. You can also check out Sandbox's website at sandboxgamemaker.com, and hopefully you guys learned something. So see you guys again, and take it easy.